Flyover Politic Podcast, the show for normal Americans. From this undisclosed bunker, here's your host, Tony Reed.
I remember distinctly, I remember the media coming up with the, you can't challenge anything. The American people spoke. The American people spoke. And those American people voted for Donald Trump and his agenda. Biden and his agenda. This is what we were listening to for the entire time we were fucking under Biden. You must do what the fuck we want you to do. And if you don't, well, guess what? You're garbage. You're fucking garbage. And you're un-American, and you're against everything that we stand for. That was the entire presidency. But they're never going to change. So here are two little freaking tidbits before we close this bitch out with some more positive shit. I'm going to blow this up. On Tuesday, 1 week after the election, CNN and MSNBC drew their lowest 25 to 54 demo. Lowest since June 27, 2000 for CNN, and lowest since August 7, 2001. So here's Brian Seltzer, because he's a piece of shit, and he's the reason why the media sucks. The election results put an exclamation point on pervasive concerns about distrust and dissatisfaction with the news media. Now a reckoning is underway. Media execs and rank-and-file reporters are wondering what needs to change. So here are some concrete ideas. Podcast, YouTube videos, and other digital sources are ascendant while traditional news outlets are struggling to remain relevant. On social media, in-depth investigations get ignored while misleading memes get shared millions of times. Frankly, some journalists feel defeated. What can news outlets do to gain the trust and appeal of a new audience without alienating existing readers and viewers? Reliable sources, readers, have a lot of thoughts and recommendations. I compiled some of them. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. These are responses. This is a thread about the press has learned nothing. People don't trust you not because Trump lies, but because you lie. Good thoughts, King. But I've read a million of these post-election media reflections. Not one I've seen anyone admit that the reason trust in media is low is because the media is almost cartoonishly partisan. Well, two suggestions not in your list. Admit your bias. Put your bias in check. 15 tweet threads when all he had to say was just report the news. Not one of these is stop lying. Here's a final one. Stop lying, misrepresenting, exaggerating, and oversimplifying. Do actual reporting. Not the he says, she says crap. Get off your ass, investigate, and find the truth. Have more balanced reporters and commentators. Accuracy over sensationalism. They are unable to do it. The reality is what has happened over the last few months is a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. You know what happened? X became 48% Democrat, 47% Republican. It balanced out because you were able to once again talk about things that were verboten, that were banned, like saying there's only two genders, a man and a woman. Once again, not to be a whiner, I got suspended for 1 day and 1 week for answering that question. And why they're all up in fucking arms over this? The media is dead, Greg Gutfeld declared. It's dead. Sean Hannity, you are the media now. Elon Musk posted over and over again on X. Dead? No. But some journalists are feeling defeated in the wake of Trump's victory. Not necessarily because they preferred Harris, but because they're actually aware that many voters turned out the fact-driven news coverage of Trump and Harris altogether. In the words of one radio journalist who insisted on anonymity to speak frankly, it is hard not to see this election just a national repudiation of what we do. I'm just going to bring this up. The problem you have with bullshit like this is this line right here. They did prefer Harris. They wrote op-eds saying the only real American patriotic good versus evil choice is to elect a lady who has gotten her fucking whole goddamn career because she has a black vagina and sometimes an Indian one. Lefties say that. You can't say I'm electing my vice president based on black woman and not be a DEI hire. But they argue the DEI hire while never arguing that the president of the United States said my VP candidate is going to be a black woman. Some of these trends have been evident for years, but the election results have put an exclamation point on concerns about distrust and dissatisfaction, blah, 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 blah. So here are some of the things. Pop the bubbles. Many new consumers and good numbers of journalists think national news coverage isn't too Washington-centric, New York-centric, L.A.-centric. Maybe CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan comment last week, the media collectively spent too much time obsessing about polling. Where did that get us? And not enough time talking to people. Geographical diversity would also help when we cover MAGA, a former ABC News executive said ruefully. It's like going to the zoo to report on an exotic animal. One logical takeaway. Publishers should embrace the Zoom era and have employees spread out across the country to balance out New York and Washington groupthink. MAGA. What is MAGA? You can't do what you just did. That's your problem. You're shoehorning it to white supremacist rednecks with trucks who hate black people, beat their wife, and go to church every Sunday. The demographic shift just told you, you are no longer the majority. For this election, this cycle, the country chose the other team overall in the hugest numbers they ever have. Donald Trump in 2020 had more blacks and Latinos than any Republican ever have, and he just blew that shit out of the water. Listen to young people and learn from their media habits. We're programming for the audience we have, not the audience we need. America in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are scrolling by default, soaking up news and views through headlines, memes, vertical videos, and other bite-sized content. This engagement isn't as easy as measure or monetize as says Nielsen rating newscast, but it's not the future. It's the present. So outlets should produce content accordingly. As the rap Sharon Waxman wrote, if people have moved away from network news and broadcast newspapers to opinionated podcasts and TikTok lies, then that's one signal of how things need to change. TikTok lies. Other than they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cat. Donald Trump, baby, sip in. Other than music and memes, the left owned TikTok. They hired something like 600 motherfuckers to be social media influencers, and you still lost. Because even your bullshit that you were feeding to the youth were going, fuck off. That's not true. The economy sucks ass. I'm still in my parents' basement.